the horizon. Alright. Make everything muted. Hi, game biologist. Just sitting here and eating Vietnamese egg rolls and cops and donuts for dinner. Sound is good. Yay, thank you, everyone. What is a cops and donuts donut? What? Oh my gosh, Cops and Donuts headquarters? I feel like I want to go to here. It's a bakery. It's owned by the members of the city's police department. Oh, fun. Oh man. See, I had some fries and burger for lunch, so I'm not super hungry, but I'm gonna... Oh man. What I like to do for things like this is I go to the website on Google, and then I look at, oh my gosh, look at those donuts. Oh, and they have the fruit pies. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. I want to go to, and they have sandwiches and stuff. What? This place looks awesome. Okay. They have a scene. I don't even know what's happening in this picture. They have a pineapple donut. Okay, I am officially 100% jealous and want to go to there very much. Donuts are great. Donuts, good breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm happy to have donuts any time of the day or night. Come for the donuts, stay for the cops. Very nice, Senior Bob. Speaking of which, I guess not really, weird segue, but we got a car on Black Friday. So since last we chatted, Phil and I own a car now. It's a Subaru Crosstrek. First car I've ever really officially bought. The only other car I bought was kind of a weird deal with this dude who worked for my parents' small business. It was a weird situation. But yeah, first car I've bought in 15 years. Super fun. It's a new car, all sorts of technology. I've been driving it around, and it's super fun and very convenient to get places. And I was thinking about the cops thing because parking and a little stressful around Seattle. There's all these rules, like if it's 2-hour parking, can I just pay for more parking? I'm so nervous that I'm gonna get a ticket or get towed or something. Since my baby car, it's like, no, don't hurt my baby car. You know, it says Cops and Donuts opened a Lansing precinct a couple years ago. Stopped in this morning to get a celebratory donut for the office. They sold a buttload of games in the last week and got called an inspiring public sector organization to watch in 2020 by Adobe. What? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Congrats. Oh, that's so cool. I mean, it's awesome that you got nominated and also that you got celebratory donuts. I will say, that's one of my greatest sadnesses for not working in an office anymore. I'm loving the solo game design lifestyle, lots of benefits to it, but office donuts is definitely something that I very much miss. Upside down pineapple muffin. Oh man. Welcome to car ownership. Thank you. Yay for the new car. Did you do the 3 a.m. Black Friday wait in line thing for it? No, and again, maybe a mistake, because I had my Gen Con table takes show in the morning, so we actually didn't go in until 3. I don't know what we were thinking. We were like, oh, who's gonna be buying a car on Black Friday? Obviously mistaken. So we went into the dealership and it was packed in there. And by the time we got around to haggling, there was actually only one car left, or they said there was only one car left, that kind of had a few more options than we wanted to get. And we were very much hemming and hawing about it, not entirely certain if we wanted to go through with it. I was pretty uncertain. It's a white car. Phil really likes that, but I was worried about it getting dirty and all these things, all these blockers. But eventually we ended up leasing because our friend said that was a great way not to get saddled with a bad car. And the lease deal was reasonable. And the big thing was just we've been talking about a car for almost a year now. And there's a lot of business opportunities that are easier for me to undertake having a car. So it's good for us, good for sanity, good for business. And we're like, we're just going to go through with it. Just make it happen. If we don't do it now, we might wait for another 6 months. So for better or worse, we did it. we probably didn't haggle as much as we could have, but it happened. And we're paying a reasonable amount of money. We have a car, and I love it. It's a weird psychological thing. We will talk about game design in a little bit. Sorry I'm going on this sidebar, but I don't know, this thing about it, a lot of people, say there's a lot of hassle and a lot of expenses with a car, but if you grew up rural, I'm sure you all know, a car just gives you such a sense of possibility and freedom. So I'm really excited about it, and it's been making me very happy so far. It'd be cool if you could start with a plain car and have extras added as you decide you want them, right? Especially now that it's technology and stuff, or a moonroof or something. It can be a lot to commit to everything up front. So if you could go in and make tweaks to it over time, that'd be very sweet. Road trip to all the Portlands on a mission of ludic evangelizing. People still have, right? Okay, that was, I don't know if people, I don't know. I felt like we were doing it wrong because we weren't really haggling. We pushed back a little, but maybe I shouldn't feel bad. Maybe people don't really do that anymore. Hey, the Nazaro, great to see you in the chat. I did get a cross track, yes. Oh shoot, how am I gonna do this? Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture of this. Ooh, yeah, here we go. What am I doing here? I got a cross track, and apparently everyone gets cross tracks. I'm just gonna send a link to this. Share, yeah. Create link. Yeah, somebody had posted in Twitter they were like, oh, you're very brave to get a cross track in Seattle because that's like the Seattle car. But it's so nice. We got all the eyesight and technologies. I pull on the handle and it unlocks automatically. It talks to me with a voice. There's so much fun stuff there. I'm late to the party, but cross tracks rule. I don't know, it feels great to drive. It's pretty easy. I've parallel parked 3 times since buying it. I realize this is my life now as a city car owner, but it's less stressful than it could have been. It's got a backup camera. It's got a lot of space. I'm pretty tall, and it just feels comfortable. A lot of space in the back for passengers, so all in all, very happy about the purchase. They need to design Lego cars where you can pop on the bits you want. Oh my gosh. How cool would that be? You just like this. You have your like boring car wheels, and then you just pop it off. Oh, and you can mix and match too. So you have this, and you have like different wheel styles to choose from. Oh my gosh, and how cool would that be if you could just pop it on and off in 2 seconds? You could have like 50 I mean wheels on a car. You could have 4 different wheel styles. And you could change them up just like cosmetics. I like where this is going to. I say this a lot, but I feel like there's a game in here somewhere. Lego Car, the game. Or a game where you're car customizers. I feel like this is something we talked about at some point, or at least I was thinking about it. Man, what was that in relation to? I remember having a conversation with someone about something like this. There we go. Yeah. Change your wheel styles for fashion. For holidays, you could put pumpkin wheels on there. Okay, so I just want Rocket League. If y'all haven't played Rocket League, definitely get in there. Even if you're not going to play the game, do the car customization part of it, because it's super fun changing your paint colors and different paint finishes. You can have pearlescent, or you can have carbon fiber. This is like the Rocket League car customization. I don't know how this would fit into a game. I'm not saying mechanics yet necessarily, but just the actions of putting the different stuff in there and changing your car up as you go along. Anyway, says, for the record, white cars showing dirt. I've got a black minivan and live on a dirt road. Black cars 100% show dirt. You see, that's what everyone says. I think it's a weird... It's just me not being I think about it like white pants. Like, I would never wear white pants because they just get stuff into them. I think it's very different when it comes to cards. Yeah, you dealing with more dirt than the average city dweller. I'm only familiar with the Honda Accord because that's all they talk about on Death by Monsters podcast. I don't know what that is. Just talk about cars. Yeah, this is going to be... We're changing to car chat. I'm a car person now, so all cars all the time. Twiponent, Google Docs. You could add wings and jet engines. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. Cars of flight. And add like flames and stuff down the sides of the car. Flames, wings. Jet engine. Competitive car demolition game with modular and customizable mini cars. The Nazaro. I love that. I'm just going to transfer this right over here. Oh, okay. We need a cool name. Doesn't have to be yet, but Car Destroy. Okay, this is actually very relevant to something that's been coming up recently, weirdly. Demolition Derby. And monster trucks. So this is a weird backstory, but back when I was going to college in California, I went to a monster truck rally, and I wasn't super impressed. It was, because you see them in commercials on TV, and you're up here, and things are on fire, and it's super exciting, but when we went to the monster truck rally, there was a huge pit, and then we were in the bleachers way above it, so by the time you're in there, the cars are tiny, and going around, you're like, this is not very exciting. MTR in California. Not very exciting. But I went to a demolition derby in Virginia, And this was, I mean, exactly what you would expect. There was a small bleachers, short little strip of dirt road, and then cars just smacking into each other basically 10 feet away from the audience. And parts were flying around, and it was dusty and smoky. And every time those cars crunched together, you would feel it in your gut, the base of the collisions happening. And it was exciting. I never had thought that I would be interested in watching cars smash into each other, but I don't know, there was something about it that always stuck with me after that. I'd love to go back and check it out sometime. But I like this. I don't think that I've come across a Demolition Derby board game. So it definitely seems like there could be something there about the construction and then destruction. Mini cars. Construction of your car, then destruction of your car. Demolition Derby, the game. There aren't that many. Okay, there is a board game called Demolition Derby. From 1977. Man, I didn't know that Demolition Derbies had been around for that long. I think the statute of limitations is passed. There's definitely space for a modern Demolition Derby game. I'm going to put this here for reference. Tuipani asks, have you ever made a game before? Yes, I've made several games. This is for board game designs that we're working on now. Alright, here's the Demolition Derby link to that game. Diesel Demolition. Ooh, here's another Demolition Derby. Demo Derby Smashdown. Okay, looks like there's a few existing games. Ooh. Not that there can't still be games. I've seen a few. I've been interested in games lately where you're making a thing with cards in a non-grid fashion. So one of the games I've been really excited about lately is I think it's Darwin's Choice. That is actually on Kickstarter right now if you want to check it out. But the idea of that is you have cards. You might have arms and legs, and then like a big funny tail, and you have I don't know what this is, porpoise face, and you have really big feet. So it's that idea of weird toes. It reminds me of one of those picture books that you would flip through and with different segments in it, and you would create different creatures based on what was on the different book segments. It's this idea that you can take the cards and construct something. We're thinking about a physical game though, so it doesn't necessarily have to be cards. Could be cool too to do like a cards or like a Lego style construction assembly thing. A snap together assembly sort of a thing. Versus assembly style game. Heck, maybe it's even something that you could pitch to Lego as a board game. I don't know if they do. Is there a Lego board game? That's a good question. Demo Derby Smashdown. Demolition Derby Simulation board game. Because something with an IP like Legos, you might look at it and say, oh, if I want to make a board game for Legos, that would be pretty much impossible. You might just look at the face of it and say it's hard, but sometimes all it takes is a pitch, meeting the right person, and having a cool pitch. Something like this. Hey, you're going to make your own car and then smack them together and then pieces fall off based on certain criterias. I like that. Car. Based on certain... Which I like having a physical car for that. Maybe you could have both. Physical car and the car made out of cards for each component you put on your car. There's a correlating card that has stats on it. And you could roll a dice or have some sort of a way to resolve the collisions. So you could physically smack them together. Or kind of simulate, you know, like, our cars are smacking together, but what actually happens to the cars is determined by something other than, it's not, we actually smash our cars together and see what falls off. So maybe that's a component of it. That's a good question, design question. Be that we see what actually falls off. That also makes me think of BattleBots. Or it's more simulationist. In that collision, ooh, that is a lot of eyes. Results are determined by card flips, dice rolls, stats, etc. Cool. I like this. And if it could be a Lego just seems like a very easy way to make a physical game. Yeah. Lego games. Lego games is a product range of the construction by Lego, which provides a series of playable games of different types. Cool. So it looks like it was a thing until like 2013. The Race to Build It board game. Cool. Here's one example of Lego. Okay, so this is my new life goal. Make a Lego board game. If they did stop making, though, maybe there's a reason that that product line fell apart or something. Okay. Board game about demolition derbies. Lego game Minotaurus. Ooh, Lego Minotaurus. Cool. Minotaurus. That's cool. It's fun. I'll have to look more into that. This is the car mod I'd be interested in doing. What? Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I'm not going to watch that now, but just the quick clip of that is fantastic. It's making me think of the scene in Wreck-It Ralph where they pick components to build a candy car. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, so there's the Wreck-It Ralph candy car. Also makes me think of Lego Movie. Cars that they build. They have some very creative build styles there. It's another interesting design question. Is it going to be more quote-unquote realistic car build or fantastical? I always like the fantastical, so make it candy style or a pirate ship or fantasy themed. And then you can mix and match, which would be cool. Try to get one of each set. Cool. So just thinking through the idea, I feel like you would want to have some sort of constructed physical component. Because it's fun building your car and having a picture of all these pieces put together. But one of the exciting things about a car, about racing cars, a demolition derby, is physically moving your car through space. Like I don't know if I was super into toy cars, for example, growing up, but anytime you get a chance with Lego car components or you just have a toy car around, there's something inherently emotionally satisfying just driving it around, smacking them into each other. There's something very visceral about moving a car figure through space. Physicality and mobility of a car. Cool. Crash. Diesel Demolition Derby. Okay. There's a few Demolition Derby games. I feel like there's still space. Demolition Derby. I might need a more unique name. Would there be existing games? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, this is the one from 2017. But this isn't about making cars. So you have gear segments. It's not as much that you're assembling components to make a car, because each car has its own card. Yeah, just figure out some synonyms for Demolition Derby. Car destruction. Car destructor. Car destructor smash. So you just put enough exciting words together and then it will be a game. Huzzah! That's how game design works. All right. Cool. So that's one game design idea. I was gonna say, do I have my Legos here? I have my bits. I need to have my desk set up so I have my Legos here and I can just start assembling things together. Wouldn't necessarily have to be Legos. Could do maybe balsa wood. Paper craft. I'm just brainstorming some potential car construction ideas here. Blocks. Blocks could be interesting. So you might have your wheeled platform that you get to push around but then you'd have some blocks that you would stack on top of it, and they would be loose. So that could be kind of cool to smash them into each other. This could be windows, engine, you could put something else in the back, passenger compartment maybe. So these are loose blocks stacked on a rolling platform. This is cool because this is into more of the mass market space of toys with rules. So having this component that's a flat platform that just looks like this on 4 wheels, and then you're stacking blocks on there, but they're not locked in, so you smash them together and maybe the blocks fly off or there's some sort of effect. Platform smashed together, they might fly off. Well, so that's one potential idea. You could have a window block, body block. You need to have an engine. Maybe you just have, there's a number of components that you need to include in order for it to be a car. Let's think on that for just a little bit. So you have windows, engine, determines power, whatever that's going to be. Just throw in keywords and we'll figure out later what the details of them are. Shields, body protection. Maybe if the body's okay, you can fix the engine. Fixable. Weapons. Damage to other cars. Boosters, rockets, thrusters. Passenger compartments. Passengers can have certain effects. Driver compartments can have certain effects. Upgraded driver compartment gets you a better driver. And the types of blocks that you take could be determined by the cars. Windows, engines, driver. So you gotta have all these blocks arrayed out in front of you. That's very fun. Yeah, I like that. And then based on the cards that you get certain blocks that you get to assemble together. And maybe if certain blocks are touching each other, you have a special effect. So the way I've drawn it originally for my idea is something kind of small. Each a block is like a kid's letter block, inch by inch square. And you have 4 of them to make your car, but you might be more granular about it. We're going to get to that question in a second. And this is a board game? How is this a board game? It's a board game with a physical toy component. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can draw this, but for your platform, that's pretty good. You might have multiple blocks. Go like this, come down like this. And this will make it a little more fragile. Yes, you might have, what's that, 4, 8, all on your wheeled platform here. Then you have your wheels and your axles. Ten blocks, it's easier for them to fall off when crashed. Man, I really like that idea. I'm like, how can I prototype that before PAX Unplugged? Because I don't know who would be into that sort of a game, but it's got such a fun weirdness to it. Alright, so core mechanics. Build your car with blocks. Use cards to get the blocks. Physically roll cars. Into each other. Effects happen based on how cars smash. It's weird and silly and I love it. Gameoto says, I knew I saw a playthrough of a card game of assembling robots in fantastical themes. Oh, John Malaya plays games. Nice. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. Oh, it's Borderlands. I was like, that looks so familiar. Nice. I'll have to look more into that. That's super cool. It's definitely something that's up my alley and a lot of what I'm thinking about lately. Legos, Tinker Toys, Erector sets, Pinewood Derby kits, Duplo. Man, I'm like, do I have cube blocks? Head explodes. Like, why don't I have square wooden blocks? I need to get square wooden blocks. Spoiler alert, being a game designer is really just an excuse for buying a bunch of toys and being able to play with them. 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch cubes. How much is a 1 inch cube? Do we want 1 inch cubes or? I'm on Amazon at the same time looking at that. I'm already want to move forward with this. Alright, so 1 inch. I don't know how I'm going to get the base rolly bit to it. Maybe that could be Legos. Alright, because then your car is going to be, this would be 2 inches. And this would be 4 inches, a little bit of space for the base there. Okay. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Okay, I will look at block sizes later. Okay. I'm going to share this again. If anyone's looking for, I'll let you look it up if you're looking for it, but just look up square wooden blocks. There are some amazing ones on Amazon. You can get colored ones, or you can get different sizes of blocks. And they're just plain without art on them or anything, all different sizes, so lots of fun stuff here, and I want to buy stuff and make stuff. Modari, modular toy cars. Ooh, what? Okay, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. This is pretty much the best thing ever. I love this. Oh my gosh. Also, glad Phil's not right here right now, because I might just have to get this for him for a Christmas present, because this is amazing. You can just get all of the different kits. Everyone should click on that link because it's amazing and the best. Yeah, this is our new stream. No more game design. Now we're just watching Emma spiral into debt buying non-standard prototype bits. Oh my gosh, I know, right? It's like, this bit will be used for one game and one game only. Yeah, I have a lot of bits. I had all those board games from Mox that I took apart and scrapped all the bits from. So I have many bits, but now I need more bits. You always need more bits. More bits, more bits. Can never have too many bits. Alright. Cool. Wow. I like a lot of the ideas that we come up here. I mentioned at the beginning of the show that I've been talking to a potential publisher before this and talking specifically about some of the games we've worked on the stream. So I like the ideas we come up with. This one in particular, though, with the blocks and everything falling over, is really exciting for me. I just want to smash things together. Maybe it's the mood that I'm in. I just want to smash things together and have them fall apart. Is that too much to ask? Cool. And Modari. I don't know if these would fall apart in the same way, but the construction of them is definitely really cool. Alright, do we want to think any more about the mechanics of how this would work? Alright, yeah, let's dig into it a little bit. Wow, this totally 90-degree swerve off turn into making a game based on this modular car idea. I think I might just talk about this idea for a little bit and then get into a brainstorm a little later. If you have anything that you want to brainstorm off of, let me know. Otherwise, we'll pick something at random. But I think there's enough here that we can come up with something pretty clever. So yeah, as I'd mentioned, play space. You have your market. A couple of different ways that you could work this out. You could have I need to figure out what the term is for a Dominion style market. Absolute market? Complete market? Because the opposite term is the randomized market. It's not always called a market for something like Star Realms or Hero Realms, Abandon All Artichokes, where you have random cards out and you don't have access to every card, versus the Dominion market where you have piles of everything, so you know exactly what's there to buy. Might just call it a Dominion market for now. Alright, so we have piles of cards. And then the cubes are just in there. Either on top of the cards, probably right next to them. Drawing fast. It's a skill. Drawing cubes quickly. It's a skill. It's a good thing to practice. I feel like I'm getting some good practice. Cube practice. Yeah, and my cat is snoring. If you hear the snoring, that is my cat, because he is loud. Yeah, so you could have it here. And this is a 1-for-1. Each card has a unique cube. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking in the back of my head. Can I order these? Can I Prime Now these on Amazon so I can get them for tomorrow? Or have car now, can drive somewhere and pick them up very quickly. Craft store probably would have the right size cubes. It could be a fun trip for tomorrow. Alright, so this is one possible market. Everything laid out. You have your body shop where you can purchase things. Purchases. Another potential style for getting your car components. I'm going to write these down so I don't forget. Acquiring car components. And before I get into this, I'm going to break down, make sure I'm being verbalizing all of the things that are going on in my head. Phases to the game. Acquire car components. Put them on your car base. Smash cars together. Oh. Car components and corresponding cards with component info. There we go. Smash cars together. Resolve the smash based on cards. Then maybe repair. So you would probably need some sort of currency acquisition action resources. Traditional racing game, you have winnings from previous rounds. Probably don't really want to make it too much win more, because often those games are single player, so it doesn't really matter if how you're doing against your opponents. So one of the interesting things is going to be how do you choose which components you get? How do you make that interesting? How do you make it so some players take part X and others take part Y? So a core part of this is the smash. You know, that's going to be pretty straightforward. But then it'll be interesting, especially before the first smash, how you get players to make different choices. I mean, I'm going to go a little more defensive. I'm going to go a little more offensive. So maybe there's shields and you have a certain amount you can spend each round. I'm going to do a tech build alternate win condition. We haven't talked about winning or points at all, so we don't know exactly how that's going to work. Yeah, so maybe some of the components. After the crash, maybe get access to different cool components based on what happened in Crash. Most dramatic. Safest. Because we're thinking if this is a Demolition Derby theme, there's the viewership aspect. In addition to just breaking the cars. In addition to just car breaking. So you don't necessarily win from wrecking the other person's car. You win from putting on a good show. Points in winning are all about putting on a good show. Not necessarily completely wrecking someone else's car. Because I know, again, tapping back into my one Demolition Derby viewership experience, sometimes the cars wouldn't even look that beat up, but they would just stop working. Maybe they have a more delicate engine. So maybe you can get like a very tough engine, but you can't go very fast. Roll to see if your engine explodes. Yeah, and this, again, my very potentially mass market game, not a lot of rules, just the drama and fun of smashing the cars together super fast. You can just get together and play again. Enough randomness that you can win even if you're not super strategic. I'll say super experienced. Low skill curve. Not no skill curve, but not necessarily super strategic to win. It's a cathartic game. Ooh, more Amazon links. Sorry, I tuned out there for a second. I was very... What? Zip zaps? Why are there so many car-based things that I never knew about? What is this, like a... You pull to make it go? I can't even tell what this is by the picture. Charge in about a minute. Digital... Oh, it's a remote control race car. Yes. More stuff to make the game out of. Used to play the customizable tiny remote control cars. Nice. Change the suspension, wheels, motors. Oh, that's super awesome. Speaking of Star Realms, I've been playing the app for that lately. It's been my first head-to-head game in an app. That's cool. Yeah, the apps for so many of those games are super fun. Great way to learn the games, but also some board games I just like better in app form. It can be tough to say that because, you know, it sounds like a bit of a betrayal. You like the digital version better, but I don't know. Some games just work really well as apps. Taryn Bune says, would you want to do like a standard market where you can draw a face-up card in the market or draw a blind off the top of the deck? That is a good question. I actually I stopped halfway through to break out the turn structure of what this game is going to look like, but I was drawing the different market options on here. So we have, as a reference, that was a few minutes ago, we have a complete market here where you have your full body shop and you see all of the options available to you. I'm going to write these out in a list. Full market. I think that's a good term for the Dominion style market. Access to everything. And the next picture I was going to draw is a randomized market. And in this model, you'd probably want to have a block potentially go with a couple of different cards. So you have your blocks here. maybe a few different types of blocks, and they're divided into different categories, engines, driver compartments. And then you have a traditional deck style market. It's funny, the Dominion market and the deck style market are both traditional at this point. And you have your market of 4 or 5 or 6 cards or whatever. And then this one, this same component, so you wouldn't have to have unique components for every single card, which might get a little component expensive, but this engine one could represent 2 different things, and the way you'd know which engine you had would be based on the cards in front of you. 1 cube could go with a few different cards. So for the driver compartment window situation, you might have visually a few different things, like window A, and the windshield, maybe like a moonroof up here. Cards 01, 05, 39, and 67. So you have a few different looks for the things you could get, but more powers. You would have a little bit more flexibility with what the different components would do. Different engine styles. Example, without having to make a unique block for each engine card, for example. And that's also nice, not having to try and figure out which block goes with which card, because the setup for the previous version that I drew out, it's a little bit of setup. And I prefer games without too much setup, because you definitely get a lot of overhead, you get intimidation from newer gamers playing the game. Anytime you have a lot of bits you have to put together in a certain space, the game looks more intimidating, and newer gamers are a little less likely to want to play it. Welcome to the modular car rabbit hole. This is a rabbit hole. I had no idea that there were so many different options for modular cars. Obviously, I've not spent enough time in this space, and I'm sad, but also happy. What? Oh, these are like wooden balls? Oh my gosh. Senior game biologist. These are gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Okay, click on Game Biologist's link here, the Play Monster one, because just this kid's hair, it looks like a race car driver, and these cars are gorgeous. I want to get these just for how pretty they are. Review, maybe different car parts offer different values when smashed. Yes. That is... Terran View, you are giving some amazing ideas here, because this is exactly the kind of things that I'm looking at. Again, keeping it short and sweet, simple and sweet. I want to have some strategy and complexity, but if like that component falls off of your opponent's car, then it's worth a certain amount of points or currency or whatever. A certain amount of points or currency, or you get a special effect. And then instead of necessarily having to do a point tracker at the end of the game, you can count up all the things in your busted corral. It makes it a little easier to keep track and to see how well each person is doing. Keep them in your trophies corral. I like that. Score at end of game. Alright, so for this version, we have components and a market, and then for your player area, I'm getting a lot of practice drawing these cubes. Thank you, and also, oh my gosh, it's hard to do under pressure. Okay. It's like, I know, I need to practice my drawing skills because this is very important for this live stream. Alright, so this is 6. It could be, your car could be 8 cubes, for example. You have your car here. Maybe you can pre-buy cubes that you're waiting to add to car. And these are your trophies that you knocked off another car. And you can make really thematic names for all of these, which is super fun. Maybe you have your garage where you keep your car parts, waiting to add them to your car. Trophies corral with parts you've knocked off of another car. Maybe, and this is super cool, what if you can take the trophies and put them on your car? So certain pieces that you knocked off someone else's car, you can build to make your car better. That would be fun. Certain trophy pieces can be added to your car. That would be funny if each car had a flag or like a certain number of pieces that were of your player color and style. Pieces of your own player color style. Someone else can use them as an intimidation factor. Like you plaster the dead car parts of your opponent to your own car for intimidation. Your opponents. Alright, cool. So many good ideas here. I'm so excited. The more of a spectacle, the higher the payout, but maybe more fragile, like a glass cannon. Exactly. I think a lot of the balance is going to come down to just getting those trade-offs just right. Yeah, glass cannon. Psh, fireworks explode into sparkles. Draw 2 cards. That player keeps 1 and gives to another player. Yeah, I'm saying market here as a shorthand, but yeah, again, keeping it fast and simple. Don't necessarily want to make a lot of choices in this game. I love the I split you choose. Like, okay, I'm just going to have this style of window instead of having to look at a market with maybe 5 or 6 options. Keep it short and sweet. Keep choosing short and sweet. Very few options. I think that's thematic to a lot of driving racing games, like digital ones as well. Because in a lot of these games you are limited by the amount of money you have, by the certain racetrack you are, so a lot of the games make it relatively simple for you to customize your car. You have some choices and you feel good about your choices, but you don't have a million choices. And I like the games where it ramps you up over time, so it keeps you playing the game instead of obsessing too much over exactly what your car looks like. Limited options based on the track location. I'm going to keep that shorthand just the right number of options. Perfect. I split you choose. Yes. Fantastic but underused mechanic. Oh my gosh, I absolutely agree with that. I think one of the big first games I came across with that was New York Slice. New York Slice is basically I split you choose the game. There's a lot of value that you can get out of that has not been fully tapped. Draw a secret achievement, accomplish X, and you get access to a black market. These ideas are great, friends. Thank you so much. Keep them coming. Each one gets one at the beginning. Yeah. I like black market parts. What if players have trucks full of turnips and you're trying to get them to fall off and equal points? But are you a better player if you fall off the truck or stay on? I feel like this is a different game, but I also do like this. I like the turnip game. It's a little different than Demolition Derby game, but that's okay. We can have multiple games from one idea. Turnip Truck Terror. And it's alliterative. Alliterative game names are categorically the best. Because I don't know what the name would be for this other game idea that we're talking about. Cube Demolition Derby. Can we work Cube in there? Cube Car Crash. That's okay. I'm not super excited about that, but you're at least the more naive player if you fall off the turnip truck. Embrace the turpitude. I feel like turpitude is something else. What is turpitude? I forget what that means. Alright. Turpitude. Doesn't that mean like you're lazy or something? I would ask, what's her name? But oh, moral turpitude, right? Depravity, wickedness. Ooh, it's a good word. It's a good word. It's a dark word. Different is how I roll. Yes, Senor Bob. You were different, and it was fantastic, and we love it. All right, cool. Of the two market options, I'm leaning towards the random market, probably with the in the market. I split, you choose. Draw 2 cards. Player keeps 1 and give it. You split, I choose. I split, you choose. Card parts. Yeah, I like this idea because there might be 5 or 6 or 10 different window styles, for example, but you probably only want 2 or 3 visual styles. And then you could just have a big pile of cube of windows, bodies, engines, and I mean, you could even do it totally stylistically that you choose just based on how it looks. Kind of like that as well. Although if you're putting the cubes as trophies into someone else's corral, you might want some sort of numerical value on it. I don't know. Some interesting questions in there. Probably have to build it and play test it to find out the best answer. Maybe the blocks. Purely visual. You get to customize the look of your car. Mechanics are completely determined by the cards. Then you'd have to give the winner of a smash the card to track for future points. Black market with special components if you meet conditions. Yeah, I like the simplicity of just having having a pile of blocks that you knocked off your opponent's cards. Just feels good too. Like, I have this one, I got knocked off your fancy engine that you spent a lot of money on and it's worth a lot of points. But maybe if you had knocked me off with that special engine, then you would have gotten all those points. Ooh, you know what this is making me think of? Okay. Making me think a little bit of Rampage / Terror in Maple City. Same game. There was some sort of IP issue, so they just changed the name of it. Terror in Maple City is the current name. I feel like I do want them to hit each other, but I feel like there should be some other interesting mechanics where maybe you drop a block. If you get special components, more stuff happens to make a good spectacle, right? Because this is about Demolition Derby. It's all about the spectacle and the show. If you buy cool, expensive pieces, you get to do a cool maneuver for the spectacle, drop a piece on someone's car, blow, or is it knock pieces off of someone's car with your breath, which is a mechanic from that game. Flick or push their car. And that's the cool thing about having this physical component. There's a lot of ways you can physically interact with it in an interesting scenario. Interact with the car. Maybe you can smash into it on the side instead of head to head. I'm going to break all these out. Into a bullet list. Because I think a lot of the fun of the game, if you're just smashing them into each other, turn after turn is going to be pretty boring after a few times. Having other types of physicality in there is going to make it consistently interesting. Put that in here. Perfect. All sorts of fun ideas and lots of space to brainstorm around the physical interactions of things. Taryn Bune, cool name by the way, says, would you have a player board with a model of the car, and as you purchase cards, they would go to the appropriate areas? I like that. Again, that would help to keep it super clear at a glance exactly what everyone has. So we're talking about the player area here. Here's your car waiting to be smashed. Oh, these blocks have headlights. Yes. Headlights. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm having a separate idea. I don't want to get distracted though, because I like this car picture idea. But here, I'm just going to draw a very rough look of a car. Yes, this is actually a car. Trust me. This is your player board / mat. And your cards go on here to demonstrate the bits that you have. To describe your components. Add that to my notes here so I don't lose it. Where you put cards in designated spaces. That's what I want to say. Designated spaces. So it's tidier, easier to read from across the table, which are all very important. Okay, anyways, the idea I just had was drawing the headlights on here. Maybe the blocks are double-sided, and one side has the broken version, and the other side has the fixed version. Especially for these ones. It would work for the headlights because the other side is blocked off. Visually broken side versus fixed side. If your headlights got broken, rotate the block to the broken side to indicate. So in this situation, it might not just be about knocking blocks off, but maybe, because physically this is something I would have to test and see. I don't even know yet if the blocks would fall off if you smash them together, how you would make that happen. So there could be, maybe the block falls off, but you don't lose it right away. It gets damaged. And then the next time it falls off, then it goes away for good. And that gives a little bit more granularity and control to the gameplay. Broken, rotate the block to the broken side to indicate. That way you have more granularity to gameplay. Damage state, then your opponent claims pieces after they're damaged. Cool. All right, we have player boards, different damage states, putting the cards, easy to read. I'm gonna see your Bob. Moving truck demolition has trucks that are full of furniture. So instead of like cool engines and rockets and stuff, you're just trying not to beat up all the furniture. Yeah, for true iSplit you choose, you wouldn't necessarily want, because otherwise I would just be giving you your card, which means only one person gets to make the choice, which is not as interesting. Or there's just two cards and you're choosing which one. Like this, there's no split choice if there's just two cards, so that's important to include. Yeah, or, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can do 2 cards and 2 cards, 2 cards and 3 cards. And I also like that it's fast. You know, if you're going to have, say for this example, 8 blocks in your car, you can do one choice, iSplit, you choose, and I'm thinking about this as a 2-player game for now. There's 4 cards, 2 and 2, you choose, so that's 2 parts of your car, I get 2, and you just do that 4 times to build your whole car, which is faster than having to build each one. And also, well, I'm seeing these as 2 blocks, but one card could be 2 blocks, like the engine. Engine card is 2 blocks. So you take 1 card, but you get the 2 pieces of the engine. So there might just be 4 components. Engine, windows, driver, and whatever trunk, rockets, special, whatever goes in the back. So there could be 4 different segments of the car. So you just have to do 2 of those things. Because I get the 2 components, you get 2, and then I get 2, you get 2. So it's just 4 choices, really, for this small version of the car. So it's 4 main components of the car. So you choose, we each get 2 components. Do it again. That's our whole car. Each component is 2 blocks, so 8 blocks total. Maybe you can move things around and configure. I don't know, there's a lot of design space there, interesting things. Taryn Bune has to head out. Thanks for checking in with us. Lots of great ideas today. Really appreciate you joining us. do a mathy thing where each card has a value like 1, 2, or 3, and the sum of a group has to be equal to or less than a specific number. Minimum number of groups would be 2, and maximum would be 3. Yeah, 2-player game, I think so. You might be able to balance it for more players, but I like starting out simple with the 2 players. I like the mathy aspect. I see what you're saying there. One potential issue with an I split you choose mechanic for new players to a game is the valuation of the cards. So you might just choose really poorly because you have no sense of how much different things are worth. So putting a number on them makes it easy to see at a glance, okay, these are basically equivalent, and it's harder to mess up the splitting that way. Ooh, wow, I feel like all this went really fast and really intense. And yeah, just tons of energy going really fast. And now I'm like, whew, I feel like I need a nap now because it was just very intense brainstorming session. And it came up with a pretty cool idea for a car smashing game. Still a lot of kinks to work out. A lot of potential design space, different directions we could go with in this design idea. I wanted to step back for just a second. Sorry, I'm looking at my camera here. I can't tell. Okay, good. It's coming through. In my Twitch, it only shows half of my notebook. I'm like, I want to see the whole notebook. Let me get that art in the right place. Perfect. Right, and Twitch is showing half of my book camera, but in OBS it's showing the whole thing. So if you see anything weird visually, let me know, because sometimes it's hard to see exactly how it looks, and I want you to see the full picture. So this is a cool example of how this sort of a brainstorm can work for a game idea. If you're putting pieces together and trying to figure out what direction you want to go before prototyping, sometimes you'll be thinking of an idea and it will just appear fully formed. You'll know exactly what direction you want to go, what you want the cards to look like, and that's great. And then you could just go straight into prototyping, right? Because you have all the pieces laid out. It might completely fall apart in the first test, but you have a good starting direction to go in. Other times, with an idea, you'll think of a couple of different things. I think especially as you start to design more games, you'll see many paths to victory. Many paths to game design success. Like we have our full market here, we have the randomized market, we have different ways of purchasing cards from a market, different ways of assembling the cars, and I like to, whatever any of these options are, I like to choose the simplest one. So I love what you're saying here, Senior Bob, with the I split you choose, because it's an easy way to distribute things amongst players without having to worry about an economy, without having to worry about currency, but also making it interesting for, I don't just get to choose, well, I just want this, because that is just kind of boring. Just pick and choose whatever you want and make your car that way. It doesn't offer strategic trade-offs. Great way to build your game. Having to worry about economy or currency. And then eventually, if you're looking for more control or more strategy, you could move into having currency, having coins, purchasing things. Once you have the base game built out, we had talked about the black market for this game, you might also have an option for I split you choose for the base components of your car, and then coins or currency to purchase cooler, fancier items from the black market. But all that can be added on in the future. I was talking to a friend at my game design event recently, last Wednesday, and they have a very big, complex game with a lot of interlocking systems, and my advice to them was, first of all, find the core fun. What is the one unique fun thing that your game is offering? Test that to make sure that it's fun, and then you can add on these additional systems in the future to see if they tune and make your game more fun. So for something like this, the core unique aspect is you have blocks on this moving platform, you smash them together. Hopefully some stuff falls off. We might prototype this and find out, oh, nothing actually falls off and this game just doesn't work. So with this sort of a thing, that's an important core thing to test. Is it fun to smash these things together and have pieces fall off? So even before we figure out the market and the costs and the points of all the things, I want to just put these together and see if smashing the things into each other is fun. And then, if it's not, great. We have to figure out some other, maybe play around with the blocks or play around the platform, make it more slippery. Hitting the cars harder together. Are they durable enough? Can you keep smashing them into each other over and over and not have the game fall apart? Because that's not great for a game. Are players comfortable smashing their game components together? You know, people might feel bad about that, or they might worry about the durability of the game. They might not want to buy it because they feel that it's going to break. So as you start to develop games, as I start to develop games, I always like to think about it from a product perspective, even in very early stages, because if this isn't something people would want to buy and play with and feel comfortable with, then it's, for me, it's not really much of a sense in putting it together. But even as I say this, there's different ways you could avoid that and keep it interesting and fun to play around with. Like, what if there was rubber bumpers? Rubber baby bumpers. Rubber bumpers, then you could have them bounce off of each other, and that might make them even more likely for the pieces to fall off of. So what are the different ways physically that we can make this prototype to have that fun falling off piece feeling? I swear I'm a much better typer when I'm typing on my own and not on stream. To capture that fun, smashing, falling off feeling. So as much as we have all these other ideas for the other pieces of it, moving forward, that's a good first step to actually physically build it and see how we can run them into each other and figure out if that's a fun thing to do. So is there literal smashing of cars or just deconstructing cars through something like card play? I'm thinking physical. I'm seeing one of those wheeled tractors with the blocks on it and you just smash them together. And then maybe there's a card component as well that encourages or makes the falling off more likely. So we can test it physically to see if that works. But even if it's imperfect, we can add other mechanics to the game. Shaking someone's car, ramming it from the side, tipping it over. There's a lot of stuff we can do. Even if the core smashing isn't 100% there, we can do other things to make pieces fall off of the car. Cool. Whew. Ooh. Chrononaut, just checking into my creator dashboard here. Chrononaut followed me. Thank you very much, Chrononaut. This is a great opportunity to let everyone know that You can follow this channel if you like what's happening on the show. You can also subscribe because I have become an affiliate, which is super cool. If you're part of Twitch Prime, you get free subscriptions to one Twitch channel, so it's a great way to contribute to streamers' livelihood without having to pay money yourself. So you get to use someone else's money for your subscriptions, which is super fun. That's just a free benefit from Twitch Prime. You can also just, I'm seeing this on my page. If you're in browser, you should be able to hover over the screen and it will just let you do your free sub from there, which is very easy. You don't have to do anything special. Just click on the button. So that is super fun and easy. Whew, I feel like I've been talking a million miles a minute. I feel very hyper right now. I need to chill. Get into my chill zone now. So I have another meeting at 6 or just after 6. Do we want to try and do a quick brainstorm now? Does anyone have any feedback about doing a quick mind map here? Because I think with this... Oh, and if anyone has any names... Robo Rally. If anyone has any names for this awesome car smashing block game that we came up with, let me know, because I think a fun, unique game like this needs a fun, unique name. So if you think of anything, shout it out. So I want to have a cool name for this. And I think like 4 minutes left. We could do like a really quick brainstorm if people were into that. Cargo smash. Cargo boom. Smash cars. Get blocks. Block wars is already the name of the game. Rally something could be a good name. And again, the Demolition Derby. Demolition Derby is just such a good name. There's quite a few games with that name there. Demolish, Demolition, Demo. Demo can be demolished, but it can also be like a demonstration, so that's a little bit tricky. Demolish cube or block. I wish I could get block or cube to work in there. Demo cube. Demo block. Blockolish. Vehicle. What's another word for demolish or demolition? Yes, and this is an important part of the stream. We name things, because what's in a name? A game by any other name would not be as great. Annihilation. Ooh. Or explosion. Extermination. I knew I wasn't going to spell that right. Annihilation, there we go. Explosion. Extermination. Wrecking. Wreck. This game is gonna have a great name. I might have to think about it. Decimate. Demolishment. Decimate. Destruction. And what else we got here? Veggie trucks. You were just saying, Rob. Look, not every game can be a veggie game. Okay, I know. I love veggies. I'm a proponent in veggie games. We can't just be all veggies. Coming up is the chill stream with some smooth jazz in the background. I should do that to have because my stream is very hyper, very distractibility squirrel, just very fast talking, very fast thinking. I should do Bob Ross stream to chill and bring people down from the hyper energy stream. Blockbusters. I mean, I like where your head's at, Senior Bob, but I think Gameologist might have it. Blockbusters is pretty good. Oh my gosh, like a Blockbuster, the thing. Oh. So if Blockbuster, that might be a little infringy. It might be a little infringy. Especially because there is a Blockbuster game that came out now. It's like, why is Blockbuster making a game now? They have one store left, and they're somehow resurrecting their IP, which is fun and fabulous. Man, shoot, Blockbusters is such a good name, too. I don't think I can use that. Block Demoers? Man, I also wish Demoers didn't have a double entendre. Maybe there's another word for derby. If I could do demolition and something that sounds like derby. Homonym, right? Derby, Kirby. Homonyms might not be the right word. Schmerby. Demolition Deluxe. Demolition Volition. Oh, Blockbusters is good too. So the answer here, just make it, right? Make it, and if they don't sue you, then you win, right? Load the cabbage cannon. Now, you're making me think of Avatar, The Last Airbender. Not the movie, TV show, importantly. Block blusters? Block bashers, maybe. Bust blockers? Derby busters. Derby bashers. Cube car smash. I like cube car. Actually, I like a lot of stuff that's in here. Cube car smash derby. That is so ridiculous. And I have to say, one of the true pleasures of game design is making your game name, making a good game with a silly name, and then pitching it, and then the people are like, oh yeah, and then we're keeping the name. Like with Abandoned All Artichokes, I was very clear in the design process that the name could change. I realized there was a silly name, but they wanted to keep it. And that makes me happy that I'm gonna make people say Abandoned All Artichokes. Of course, you can call it Artichokes for short. It's always good to have a short version of the name that's also pretty evocative. Betrayal at House on the Hill is a good example. It's almost impossible to remember the full name of that game. It's like Betrayal. You think Haunted should be in there, knowing the game. It's like there's Haunted in there somewhere, but there's actually no Haunted in the game name. Betrayal at Haunted House, at the Haunting of the Hill House. But you can also just call it Betrayal, and everyone knows what you're talking about. So that counts as a good name for a game. And this has been our sidebar into naming of games. Whew, I need to breathe. Breathe. Blockbursters with a super tiny R, so you hardly notice it. Nice. Or typography, this is Blockbusters with a hand-drawn R above it with a caret pointing towards it. This is my game design stream, now also known as not infringing upon IPs with we've done a 90-degree angle here with our ideas. Veggie truck delivery. Why are we back into veggies, Senior Bob? We're going off the rails again. It's great though. I love it. All right, let me check in here. All right, checking with my meeting here, so I'm actually postponing. Like, no, I need to do a check-in here. All right. Taryn Bune, hello again. We are talking about names for this awesome game that we just came up with. And we're going to do a brainstorm. I like doing the brainstorms. So I do want to fit that in as well. I don't want to take too much longer for the stream. But we're on a roll here, I feel like. So I want to keep it going for a little bit. Turnip truck trauma... Are we being serious right now? This is... Yeah, I do... Okay. Oh, and it's alliterative too. How cool would that be? I've already messed up the trend because some of my game names aren't alliterative, but how cool would it be from now on if every game name I did just happened to be alliterative and nobody noticed until 10 years from now, and then they look back and say like, are most of your game names alliterative? And I'd just be over here like laughing like, yes, this is my secret joke I tricked everyone with. Just concurrently brainstorming something entirely different. Oh, and also, Senior Bob, this is like 5 other games that we could make in addition that are probably all excellent. Okay. Keep thinking of game names. I will keep taking suggestions for those and writing those down. I'm going to do a quick like 5-minute brainstorm as well. And then we will have to be done. But okay, going a little over because I think I got pet myself again. My next meeting was postponed. And I was here a little late, so I want to make sure that y'all get your money's worth for the stream. All right, I'm going to do a mind map here. For those of you who are new, the way the mind map works is I write a word, we write a bunch of words branching off of that and talk about just a bunch of ideas that the words on the page inspire us with. If you ever get stuck in your own game design process, either in just coming up with a concept for a game, or you're in the middle of design and are unsure how to move forward, mind map can be a great way to get yourself unstuck and to get the creative juices flowing. So I like to demonstrate this process on a regular basis so people know how it works. Emma, the secret Friedman freeze of game names. Okay, I love that you got that reference because that's what I was thinking about in my head was Friedman freeze with all the F letter games. Also, Taryn Bune with the collision catastrophe. Also a fantastic name. I'm saying that we need to come up with a fantastic name, but honestly, we've got like 5 fantastic game names here already. So I'm very happy with how everything has gone today. I'm surprised we came up with such a exciting game concept today. This is super fun. All right, so mind mapping. Haggle is my word because we were talking about buying a car and haggling for cars. Haggling is trying to make a deal. Haggle is such a fun word. Going back and forth, negotiating. Trying to get a deal. Negotiating is like the more formal version. It makes me think of more structured as well. Haggling makes me think of a market. Or like an open air city market. Haggling has connotations of familiarity. And maybe a casualness to it. Because when I visualize haggling in particular, it's people who probably know each other, who have a lot of experience doing it. I think that's an important component of haggling. Haggling is a game in some ways. you're going into haggling and you have some information, you have prior experiences with a person, so you could feed off of what happened. You might know about other deals they've made with other people. So there's a whole meta / framework to it, right? And you're leaning on all these different pieces to have, it's almost performative. Performative, I don't like that word, but it's a performance, I guess I would say. There's potentially drama involved. So I'm picturing this scenario where you're haggling for these beats. I feel like beats are a thing that would be haggled for. You're haggling for 20 beats on the market. And you might say, oh, well, I heard last week you gave Joanna a deal for one gold piece for 20 beats. The person might say, you must have heard lies. 1 gold piece for 20 beats? You're going to this is highway robbery. I'm going to starve. I'm going to go out of business for 1 gold piece for 20 beats. That's ridiculous. Say, I heard. That's what I heard. That's what Joanna got them for. I'm happy to take my business elsewhere. And the person selling the beats says, well, I heard that you're actually that you can do different tactics. Tactics is another important part of haggling. 1 gold piece for 20 beats. 1 gold piece for 20 beats. You're saying this. You made an incredible profit. You were selling your cheese to Lucinda last week, and you got an incredibly good deal. You're rolling in cash right now. You can only give me 1 gold piece for 20 beats, and your pockets are literally exploding with gold. So you can play off of your relationship with the person, with past information, the different ways you've interacted, pulling in different thoughts and facts to support your argument. Playing off relationship. Thoughts, emotions, facts. Haggling for hagfish? Oh, I actually really like it. Hagfish. I feel like there was a hagfish in my D&D campaign recently. Haggling for hagfish. Haggle? Something tells me we're going to encounter Mediterranean traders at some point. That's not really haggling, is it? That's the interesting thing about bartering or trading in board games. Usually you want to leave the emotional aspect out of it and make it more mechanical. Bartering in games is usually more bounded, not as freeform, not as exciting, or potentially disastrous. Like, you do some bad trades in the marketplace, you haggle poorly, that could be your livelihood. You could suffer great consequences. In the quote-unquote real world for haggling poorly. So that would be a fun thing to capture in a game scenario, because usually you need to tune things so that really bad things don't happen. Otherwise the game will be over and someone just loses without knowing what's happening. Gameologist. Thinking about haggling gives me stress and removes my ability to be patient and understanding. Just tell me what you want and stop dickering around. Yeah. And that's why I'm interested in potentially capturing this, in a game setting, because I think that it's something we could play around with and have fun with. if we can find a way to remove some of the stress from it. And there's a question if that's even possible to do, because there is a lot of stress. Going out and buying the car, bringing it all back to what we talked about at the start of the stream is very stressful, thinking that I have to lie and negotiate, maneuver, trick, fake, act, you know, all these things. You're trying to get the best deal with shenanigans. It takes a lot more time than each person just saying what they want. There's a lot of emotional baggage tied up in it. Manipulation, that's the word that I'm looking for. So you're trying to press on social levers to get what you want, even if it causes the other person pain. Again, a lot of negativity wrapped up in here. I think it's important to acknowledge all the ways that it can be bad and painful and how people can suffer from it. But in all of that, there's experiences, right? And is there a way to capture the good without a lot of the bad? Which is the design question that we're asking here. And I think a lot of negotiation trading games just have boundaries, but still leave a lot of potential for people to, they try and simulate it so much that it's realistic, and you do get a lot of those tensions and frustrations similar to real world haggling, which can be fun occasionally because, again, like we said, right in this stream, we don't haggle a lot in our modern day lives, at least where I am in a city in the US. I buy most of my things in non-haggling situations. Again, buying the car was one of the few potential haggling situations that I've gotten into since probably when I visited India was the last time I was really in a potential haggling scenario. Juggling and haggling. It's the power struggle, trying to take advantage of the upper hand and better deal. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Those 20 beats were much smaller than those beats I have. You see, and maybe, ooh, this is a cool first potential idea. Maybe it's more of a storytelling thing. Storytelling game. Maybe we lightly mechanize the telling of a haggle story. Maybe this could be a version of Verizian of, and then we died. Because I've been thinking about different ways to take this base game and make it into different types of products. Instead of everyone dying at the end, a deal is struck at the end of the game. Ooh, I really like that. That could be a fun way to play it. I could even do that with the base set. Ideas, many ideas. Use this beat story as the framework for what we're talking about here. $20 beats for 1 gold piece last week. You made a ton of money off of your cheese. This is highway robbery. It could be a 2-player version of the game. It's a different dynamic to a three-way haggle than a two-way haggle. Either two sellers, one buyer, or one seller, two buyers. Yeah. Having multiple people really changes the emotional dynamics of that. So if you have more buyers than sellers, it's a seller's market. If there are more sellers than buyers, it's a buyer market. Shifting that around could be interesting. Could be a mini game. Yeah, I like this as a mini game or a mechanic in a bigger game. I once remodeled my bathroom and removed my vanity and sink. My neighbor gave me a crap for setting it aside to donate landfill instead of selling it. I gave it to her and she got to deal with the grief of a buyer wanting to haggle the price down. Could be interesting to use donate the thing elsewhere as a push your luck element if haggling gets too annoying. Oh man, I know. Yeah. That's a whole thing, potentially a whole game / mini game in and of itself is trying to get rid of stuff. Okay, so we have haggling, we have this car game, which is great, and this third game idea that I'm just thinking of, game about trying to get rid of your junk. Sell or donate. That's a whole game. We don't have time to brainstorm this. Maybe next week. But that's a whole game in and of itself. When my parents bought a house, and the whole thing was a disaster. The person they bought it from was a hoarder, and trying to get them to get rid of all their junk. They had, seriously, like 5 moving trucks. I'd never seen this before. They had a truck the size of a semi tractor trailer, but it was just an open net, like a fenced area that was open on the top, and like they were already hours and hours past their move out time, and at a certain point they were just chucking things into this giant corral for junk because they had too much junk to keep putting it in moving trucks. It was bizarre. Anyways, they still left tons of junk behind, including a trampoline that we had no use for. So my parents listed it for free to get rid of it, and there was a whole dynamic around that. So it could be a fun thing to make a game about as well. Posting a trampoline for free on a site like... Whew. Oh, man. Yard Sale, the game. Yeah. Live stream at PAX. Ooh, that would be fun. I feel like I want to do a panel for this. People have done panels like this before, but I don't know if they've done exactly this stuff. That would be super fun. I should pitch that to PAX Unplugged next year. Oh, okay. Live stream at PAX. I'm not sure. PAX is going to be really busy. I'm going to be at Unpub. That would be fun to do an Unpub slot like that, though. Instead of actually demoing a game, do a live brainstorm. I put my thinking face on. Streaming could be hard because it's not always easy to get internet. I don't know. I'd have to check in with Ben about that, if that was okay. I like the idea. I feel like it might annoy everyone else at the show, though. I don't know. I'll think about that if I want to do a stream thing. I haven't quite been able to make it work yet, but maybe. Maybe I'll keep you posted. Okay. I think we're in a good place. I think we're in a good stopping point for today. Came up with all sorts of great ideas. I'm going to flip back to our block car game, because this was a super fun idea that kind of came out of nowhere. I think that's definitely worth playing around with, prototyping a little bit. Not sure if I'll get it done before PAX Unplugged, but we'll see. Maybe if I can prime now some wooden blocks. I think I have so much stuff to get done before then. I don't know how things are going to come together. But yeah. Thanks, everyone, for joining me once again. Came up with the block car idea, talking about haggling, getting rid of your junk as a potential game design idea as well. As always, I like to mention at the end of my stream, if any of these ideas inspire you, feel free to move forward and create something of your own creativity. Ideas are cheap. if two people made a block card game, it would be two completely different things. We would take in different directions. So if this inspires you to create things, then let your imagination flow and make something, develop it, prototype it, play test it, and come up with cool game ideas. So for upcoming streams, next week for the Thursday stream. I think we're going to have to miss the Thursday stream because we're going to be in transit on our way to Philadelphia for PAX Unplugged. So don't think there will be a stream on Thursday. Tuesday I'm going to be at a design retreat in Maine. That's always tricky because design retreats usually heads down time. And we should have internet. Did I check on the internet? There's internet there. There has to be internet. Yeah, there's internet. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to a place with no internet. So I might be able to do a short stream on Tuesday if things don't get too hectic at the retreat. Thursday, I'll still be at the retreat since it's a week long, but anyways, I'll try to make the regular stream times. I'll keep you posted with how everything is coming together. And if you're at PAX Unplugged, hit me up on Twitter. It's a great way to reach out to me. Always like to check in with new designers. I'm going to be in Unpub Hall during the mornings and then kind of fluttering around from place to place the rest of the time. So let me know what you're up to, and it'd be cool to connect. Okay. I gotta take down this note, though. Cars made from dice. Senior Bob, you're a genius. Look, I'm making things harder than they have to be. I'm thinking I have to order all these components to make this prototype, but what if they're dice? Dice are cubes, and I have so many of those. It's such a great idea. I could totally just do that. I should do that. Yes. Just need wheels. Just get a Lego kit. We can make it happen. We'll make it work. Figure it out. I love it. I don't have to go on Amazon and just start ordering cubes. I see what you're trying to You're trying to save me from myself from ordering a bunch of cubes on Amazon because I was going to do it. I was going to press that button, but I can wait. Take my time. Breathe. Don't need to get the cubes yet. Figure this out. Design retreat group stream. That's fun too. I can check in with the other designers of the retreat and see if they would be into that. I'll see what we can do. Figure something out. Heads down, back in school. I'll just look for the pink hair. Veggie dice! Alright, veggie dice. It's a perfect note to end the stream on. Thank you as always for joining me. I find this incredibly inspirational and motivational. I hope that you find it helpful as well. If you have any feedback about the show, feel free to message me here or on Twitter. I'm at Emma Larkins pretty much everywhere. You can also follow, subscribe with your free Twitch Prime subscription. I look forward to seeing you next time. Till then, hope you have a great day, week, month, year, however long it is until you see me again. And until then, I will see you around the table. Bye.